have worn a
Or like
Vanguard.
hold on your lap.
Maybe. You know what? I got this new pin. I'm gonna put it on real quick. Okay. I got this little pin that says tradition. Isn't that cute?
Oh, that's cute.
You can tell, but whatever. At least I've got something. Okay, so okay, I'm just gonna start. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hello, you guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Kimmy. How's everyone?
Hi.
Good.
Good.
Okay, so we are here together to do this interview, and we have a great list of questions that we're going to be interviewing each other with. And these questions are hopefully going to highlight what we still have in common, what we've all bonded over, the experiences that we share, but also how much things have changed over the years, right? Like cell phones, cameras. So I'm really quick going to let you guys introduce yourselves. So Diane, let's go to you first. Tell us a little bit about when you marched and taught as well.
So I started in 84 with the B Corps, and I marched with the B Corps / Cadet Corps from 84 through 90. I then moved on to the A Corps in 91, and I was with the A Corps from 91 through 96. I took a couple years off, moved to the East Coast, taught some senior corps, and then came back and started teaching the Cadet Corps in 2001, and was with the Cadet Corps till 2005. Went up to the A Corps in 2006. That's where I got to work with Leanne. And then I also started working with the Winter Guard in 2006. And basically I taught off and on until 2012 with between the Cadet Corps, the Winter Guard, and a little bit of the A Corps. So, and then I had babies. And so now this is where I'm at. My last thing was the Alumni Corps in 2017.
That's awesome. So many years. I'm also almost embarrassed to go next because of all the years that you have on me. So I'm going to pass it off to Kimmy next. Kimmy, tell us a little bit.
All right. Well, I started in the Vanguard Cadets in 2013, and I marched 2013, 14 there. And then I moved up to the A Corps in 2015. I was a color guard alternate. And then 2016, 17, 18, I continued throughout the A Corps, aging out in 2018. And then in 2019, I joined the staff for the Cadet Corps, and here I am today.
Awesome. All right, Leanne.
Oh, okay, I gotta go. So I came to Vanguard in 2005. I marched 5, 6, and 7. And then immediately after aging out, I joined the staff at the Cadet Corps in 2008. And then I marched the Winter Guard in 2009. That was after I had spent 5 years at another Winter Guard before that. So did the Winter Guard in 2009 and also started teaching the A Corps in 2009. Through 2011, took a break, came back in 2013, took a few years off, taught the Winter Guard in 2016, the last year that they were out, and then came back to teach the A Corps in 2018, 19, and 20 up until now. So Diane, like you said, taught me 2006. I taught Kimmy her age out 2018. So I'm really excited for all of us to talk about our experience. Are we ready for our first question?
Let's get going.
Let's kick it off. So what is your favorite hype or your favorite tradition? There's so many.
There's so many, right? I mean, we sang Believe, and all of that. But one of my favorite things was actually being on the bus and the old Vanguard buses. We had curtains and we would draw the curtains. So as soon as we got off the freeway and you could see the stadium, it would be like, okay, guys, everyone draw the curtains, draw the curtains. Everyone's shutting the curtains and it just kind of gets dark. And then each bus had different things that they would play. But usually I switched between a few buses, but we always played We Are the Champions. And I love Queen. I love that song. And you would just, the energy on the bus as you're rolling in, and you just knew that people were standing outside going, oh, it's the Vanguard. It's the Vanguard, because we had the Santa Clara Vanguard on the side of the buses. Yeah. And that is, that's one of those traditions I wish you guys could still kind of have, but with the new buses, they're not the same.
I remember that we used to say curtains down, and I'm trying to remember on the buses I marched on, if it may have just been those like draw down ones, but I do remember that we still just kind of said it like symbolically.
Yeah.
And what's funny with like the hype songs is because I rode on both the guard bus a couple years and the drum bus, and our song that we played like pre-show on the guard bus was like Barbara Streisand's Clowns. Do you guys still do that?
So we played. Yeah. So
When
we
I
played.
got on the drum bus, it was Rage Against the Machine. So it's like totally, like a totally
gosh.
different vibe, like rolling into this show. But I think tradition wise, I know it seems like, I don't know, probably not that special, but I just loved standing at Pistol. Like it sounds, or maybe like walking in twos, feeling so proud for people to like see me on the field or like see me walking in twos. So yeah, and I just, I just don't know if I would like ever feel like that again, feeling that way, just like standing there like that. So let's move on to the next
We
question.
move on to our best and worst locations.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone go for it because I've got mine.
Okay, I'll start with favorite because that's easy. My favorite is Stanford because, that's the day that it's like our first weekend of show, even though our shows are usually like completely finished or they may not be like 100% clean, our fan support there, like there's so many alumni. It's really cool to see all the people walk around in core jackets. Also, we have a barbecue before and the food's always really, really, really good. And like my family comes to that show. So it's just like, we have our family day 2 days after Stanford typically, but it feels like a weekend of family day. And I just love Stanford.
My favorite actually would be Madison because I loved performing at Madison in Badger Stadium. The energy, the second we went down for the bottle dance, the entire stands stood up, screaming, clapping, lights flashing. That is not anything I've experienced since, even while
So
teaching,
cool.
so.
I just got like chills. What about you, Leanne?
Oh my gosh. Well, my worst location, and it was like a multi-level experience because it was Denton, Texas, and I was like, get me out of here because so the show in Denton, we would do warm up with like the uniforms half down. A bug got into my uniform, and bugs love to eat me, and I got eaten. And then we had to rehearse there the next day, and the field was covered in these just like huge, like Texas-sized dead bugs. They were all over like the field, and it was just like reminding me that they had like attacked. Like I just couldn't escape like the feeling like they were everywhere. And to make it worse, we used like the facilities that were like right next to the field. There was like the locker room was just like off the end zone, but the locker room was 2 stories and the upper level was like this balcony, and the guys had scooped up like the dead bugs and went to the balcony level like with cups from Amana and cups of crickets. And so when you would like walk into the locker room, they would dump them. It was like a haunted house of just like bugs and crickets.
91 finals we were at Denton, right? So we had those bugs on. I know exactly the bugs you're talking about because in Miss Saigon, we didn't wear shoes. So we didn't practice with shoes on. We always practiced barefoot. Every step we took, it crunch, 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 crunch.
Oh my gosh.
Gross.
My tradition pin is like twisting all over the place. I just wanted to have my Vanguard, rep my Vanguard. What would we call that on our jackets? Flare. Yeah.
Flare.
You have to have like at least 5 pieces of flare, right? This is my flare, my tradition pin.
Is that a rule? 5 pieces?
That's what I was taught when I'm pretty sure Megan Harlan told me that when I got my core jacket. Flare, like there was rules for flare. So yeah, I think I had.
I love that.
Yeah. You can start passing that on. We should make sure that's still a thing. All right. We ready to move on?
We are.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any show bloopers?
I have one. This was in 2016. It was before our ballot. And we had these skirts that went over our costumes by Velcro. And those are preset before the show. And my skirt got mixed up with someone who was like 3 times the size of me or twice the size of me. It was like this big, tall guy. And so I put it on and it immediately just falls down. And like we started that movement at the back corner and then ran all the way across. Like I pick up my skirt and I'm like swinging my flag and then we stop. So I just throw my skirt on the ground and I like do my flag work and I just kept picking it up and putting it down. And after the show, it was in Utah and I was like, oh my gosh, like what the heck? And then I thought Daniel Riley was going to be really mad, but he kind of just saw me in the food line and was like, nice juggling out there. Cause it was.
I have a blooper that, so 2005, The ballad was girls dancing and boys on rifle. And there was this like part where all the girls were lined up across the field. So the boys in a ripple like tossed through us. And when they passed by us, like we laid on our back in like a bridge, like a glute bridge with like one leg up. And I'm excited to tell Diane this because I got handed down purple tights, like a purple body tight. I'm pretty sure it's from, didn't you guys have like a teal uniform with like purple tights?
Yeah, so it was in 93.
So I'm pretty sure those purple tights were being passed down and they made their way to me. And at this show, I'm pretty sure it was San Antonio too. So it was like a big show. And I didn't have any clean tights. So I was wearing purple tights and our pant legs and those uniforms were kind of loose. So I'm like laying back with like my leg up and my pant leg just like slides down. And I had to hold there forever. And I'm looking up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm wearing purple tights. Like everyone can see like my purple leg. And I was just like, shoot, like, because I can't do anything about it. So embarrassing.
Yeah. All right. So, what things would y'all do on the bus and what technologies did y'all have with you on tour? I can start because I marched between 2013 and 2018. I had my phone and that was it. That's all I needed for music, for social media, for watching YouTube, watching shows after on the bus.
So
You go first, Leanne.
music wise, I had a Discman at first, which is so annoying. Kimmy, you don't even know what this is, a Discman for CDs. And you know,
If you hit it,
new
like
battery.
skips a song.
Well, you know, there was like a button, but so I had a Discman, and then my age out, I got an iPod, and pre-tour was still when we did it local, right? So you know, the day before we went on the road, you had like the day off or half the day off. So we went to Target. I got the iPod Nano, which was maybe like $100 or something, and we went back to her house, and I was furiously like burning all my CDs. That's what it was called. You had to burn your CDs to the computer and sync each like individual album or song. And it took forever because Kimmy, it was like going on to Survivor Island. Whatever music you had was what you had all summer. You know, there was no like just like
Spotify.
anything. No. So
You
I was,
download
it was like the
something.
night before we were leaving on the road, and I was like, I have to make sure I have like all the important songs. And so I had my like little green iPod Nano, and I don't know, like 200 songs. That was probably a lot.
We go back even
hear it,
farther
Diane.
to the Walkman days.
Yeah.
So I started with the Walkman. So, you know, first few tours was with the Walkman. Then we went to the Discman, right? And we had disposable cameras.
You would have a disposable camera with 27 photos on the roll, and you know, you'd be like, oh, I got to take a picture of this, and you would press the button and nothing would happen, and then you'd look at it and it would be out of film, and you'd be like, oh man, and then you know, you'd have to get another one like at the rest stop or something.
All right, we're on to drum corps hacks or pro tips for being on tour.
I've got one, but I wish I knew this. I wish I knew this a long time ago. Natural insect repellent soap. I already told you guys the bugs love me.
My best pro tip, I learned my last couple of years marching. So again, back in our day, we didn't have air mattresses, right? We had big foam. We had big, you had to go to the store and get the foam, and then you try and put as much foam together as you could and roll it up super tight, right? So you're trying to take your bedroll and your big suitcase, right? I learned to have a small bag, and I would just put what I need from my big suitcase in the small bag, leave the suitcase on the bus, and just take my small bag and my bedroll.
Y'all have some good ones. I feel like mine are kind of silly. My first one, and this might be a debatable topic because some people do not like wearing hats, especially like wear color guard for tossing and stuff. But in 2016 or 17, we were like low key forced to wear hats. Like everyone just in the Corps had to wear like some sort of head protection. And I was like, okay, I'll like suck it up and wear a hat. And then I always wanted to wear a hat after that. And I was like, why didn't I know this sooner? So protect your face, learn how to spin with a hat.
All right, best friends. We're on to best friends. Who was your best friend on tour, and are you still friends, Leanne?
Yes, you guys know. My best friend was Samia, and she was just recently my maid of honor, Sammy Mooney. And in her maid of honor speech, she described how we became best friends, and it was on tour. We were being paired up, dance partners. They were pairing up male and female by height, and there was no more boys left. We were the tallest girls. We were the last ones left, and we were like, "Do you want to be dance partners?" Yeah. And then it's like, "Do you want to be best friends?" Yeah. And so we're still best friends, and that's how it happened. What about you, Kimmy?
Oh, wow. It's hard to pick just one, but if I have to pick just one, I'd probably say Claire. Like she's the one that out of the people I've marched with was like the most consistent friend and that I talk to, like not on a daily basis, but like every other day we're like texting each other and stuff. So Claire Bear.
Diane.
What about you, Diane?
My best friend is still my best friend, and that would be Karen Anderson Thor. We marched Cadet Corps together. We marched A Corps 91 through 94, and then she went on to Blue Devils, but we stayed best friends. It's all good. Love the purple. We have been each other's maid of honors. We have been there for each other's, the birth of each other's kids. I am basically an aunt to her kids. She's an aunt to my kids. We are still best friends to this day, and we always will be.
That's so great.
So awesome.
I love that. All right, you guys ready for a speed round?
Yes.
All right. The bus is stopping at Walmart. What are the top 5 things on your list?
Well, my first thing that I would get is always Ben and Jerry's cheesecake ice cream, and then probably Rice Krispie treats, and then candy, and goldfish, and Pringles.
What a great diet.
Super healthy.
What a great drum corps diet.
I would always get Wheat Thins, a new bottle of sunscreen. We'd always pick up a new bikini or bandeau top. Licorice, I was a red licorice girl, and usually some kind of ice cream.
Yes. Ice cream, still on staff, ice cream. My go-to candy was Reasons. It was like those dark chocolate caramels because I was a chocoholic, but they didn't melt as fast because they were like really tough. Starbursts, of course. I think I always get popcorn, like smart food, like good popcorn. And for some reason, I always wanted a new face wash. Yeah. Okay, number 2, favorite meal on Miss Amana.
My favorite meal was cornflake chicken, and they had to have the really yummy bread rolls. And I was like besties with Miss Lisa on Miss Amana, so I'd always go back for like 4.
That's a good one.
I'm a classic girl. I'm chicken broccoli all the way.
Chicken broccoli. My favorite is baked potato bar. I'm probably the only one that loves baked potato bar, but another shout out to Lisa because my age out, they let us like submit requests for meals for finals day. And I know no one else cared about baked potato bar, but Lisa hooked me up and we had baked
She's the best.
on semifinals day. Yeah. All right. Number 3, it's EPL, EPAC load for those that don't know. Do you shower first or eat first?
Oh, shower first.
Always shower.
I shower, I
Always gotta
pack,
be ready.
and then I go and eat.
First.
Ooh, that makes me feel better because we technically weren't supposed to shower first, but I always did.
I feel like for color guard, you kind of like, most of us probably shower first because we have so much like to do, you know. All right. Best and worst things about drum corps.
Best thing, the family you make, hands down. Worst thing, I think the really long bus rides, like long bus rides, those 13-hour bus rides, those are hard on the body.
I'll say best thing, performing, just performing for huge audiences. Worst thing, I already said it, having to get up in the middle of the night when you're already sleeping on the bus and carry all your things and then get set up at 3 a.m. and go back to sleep. Now I'm on staff and I just stay at my bunk.
All right, my best things, obviously the memories, but also I love night ensemble and like just how tan everyone looks under the lights and
Glow, yeah.
you work all day and just to end your day with that is the best, at least in my opinion. And worst thing, I'm gonna go with those first 3 days of like the extreme soreness and then the first 3 days of sleeping on the bus where you're like, oh my gosh, my neck is gonna be stuck like this forever, and figuring out all those kinks and soreness.
Yeah, those are good ones. All right, most quintessential drum corps moment. So something that like would never happen in the real world. And I can start this one. Riding our air mattresses down this like river that was next to our rehearsal site in Boise, Idaho. We put our air mattresses on the water at lunch and we rode down the river.
I'll say how
where would you-
happy people get when they get popsicles. Like I'll pass the popsicle aisle in real life and like I never buy them, but that will make a drum corps person's day is just getting a popsicle.
Oh yeah. And the Gatorade, right? The Gatorade drop-offs. Oh,
Oh, I have an honorable mention too. Also, when we have those like 11 p.m. Walmart runs and the Walmart's only staffed for like their typical not busy.
oh.
Yes.
And we just come in and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Okay, so we cheated. We each did like 2 each. That's fine. They were all totally worth it. So let's move on. What is one thing that you wish you could tell your rookie self? And if you could march again, would you, or would you do anything differently?
I'll go first. I'm going to go back to my rookie A Corps year because in 91, we had a very experienced guard and there were very few rookies that year. I was 15 going on 16. I was the youngest one in the color guard. I worked so hard to make it. And once I made it, I totally just got complacent. And I ended up getting cut from every single song. And I had to work my way back into the show. And I got all of my spots back, but I would tell myself to never just be okay with being good enough, that you got to keep striving.
If you could march right now, would you do it?
Oh, totally. I think I would. You know, I mean, if I was young and, you know, spry again.
Young and spry. Yeah, if I could march again, totally. Would I do anything different? I probably couldn't change this, but I wish I had more years because I feel like, you know, your rookie year, you're like, what is this? Like, do I like this? I don't know. And then at the end, you're like, oh yeah, I'm like gonna do this forever. And then my second year, I got hurt. Diane remembers that, but
Yeah.
I still like was in every show. I didn't technically miss anything, but I was like in and out of rehearsals, like on the sideline, do everything that I wanted to. So then it was like my age out, you know, I was able to like live it up and do everything. But, you know, I was just like, I wish I had a few more years of that, of like having it figured out, just a little longer.
Kimmy?
All right. For me, I'll talk about my rookie year for A Corps because then I was an alternate that year. And like our saying in the color guard is like, believe in yourself. And I wish I did that more early on in the season. Because now whenever we get our alternates, I'm always like, whoa, they're so good. Like, what the heck? And I wish I could have seen that in myself my rookie year. But I think it really helped me grow. So would I take it back? No, but I wish I could have known early on, had that confidence early on. And if I could march now, heck yeah, I would. I miss drum corps, love drum corps.
All right, guys, last question. Your all-time favorite memory.
I mean, I have so many, but I think one that sits with me, sitting in the circle watching Gail conduct clowns last time in the parking lot in Madison in 92. And it was one of those moments where you just felt the love for Vanguard. You felt the respect for Gail. And to watch this man, you know, and at that time, not everyone knew he was sick. Some of us knew, some of the Corps didn't know. And, you know, to know that that was going to be his last time, you know, being around the Corps, you know, conducting clowns, all of that. And it was just, it's a very, very special moment. And it's super ingrained in my head.
Wow. How lucky you are to have been there for that.
Thank you.
There's so many like really epic like performance memories and stuff. So I'm keeping those like over here in this category. And I'm gonna say that my all-time favorite memory is 2006 with Samia. As I already said, she was my best friend. We were in Pennsylvania because it was around Allentown time. And it was some situation where it was like a full rehearsal day, but our housing site wasn't the rehearsal site. So we were bussed over there. And I think we were traveling that night. So we ended like kind of early, had like the evening just to hang out. And me and Sammy, we were always last. We were last to get ice cream. They're serving ice cream. We were the last ones to get ice cream. There was like one scoop left. So we had this great idea to like add peanut butter to it just to like double our portion size. And we sat up on like the edge of this embankment, like watching everyone play dodgeball, and it was dusk, like the sun was setting. And I think it's my favorite memory because very, very rare that you have just like this evening to just sit there, just appreciate like the moment. And I also love it because we don't have a photo of it, but me and Sammy talk about it all the time. And one time for my birthday, she drew me a picture of it because
Oh.
it's just like, I think it's more beautiful because it just lives like in our memories, So yeah, that's my favorite.
Okay, I'm gonna cheat and have two because my two favorite memories are both like low key bittersweet. One, obviously, I aged out in 2018, and so having the core play clowns like right after our encore run, and then right after that, the color guard was like holding hands, and we all just like laid down and cried like on the field. So happy memory and kind of sad. And my other favorite memory that comes to mind is in 2017, I had a really bad show, not gonna lie, and that's why it's like bittersweet. So I was feeling really down after the show, but they're like, go back inside. You got to go watch the alumni corps. And watching the alumni corps, like right on the front sideline and then seeing like those 250, however many people were in it was so awesome. And it just like, I was feeling really down right before, and then everything was just gone. And I just, when they went down for bottle dance and we're all just like screaming in the front, and then we went outside and we sang clowns, and it was really awesome.
That's my second favorite memory is when everyone got together to sing clowns in 2017, the alumni corps and the A corps. Oh my gosh, it was just. Oh.
I love that like all three of us, because Diane, you were involved with the alumni corps, you were there, I was watching, Kimmy was marching, so it's just so amazing. Like, thank you guys for doing this, and I hope everyone loves to hear all of our personal stories.
I feel like y'all are like two SCV OGs, so getting to have this conversation and just hear about your experience, it's so exciting.
So much fun.
It was so fun.